Hey guys, so I get really excited seeing these original little houses. I love little houses, but they have to be really well designed in order for a small family to live on them. A really tiny house, maybe a tiny house on wheels is okay for one person, maybe two, but if you have children, if you have dogs, if you have a need for a lot of tools, it's very difficult to live in a tiny house. This one's pretty little, but from what I saw on the pictures on the Airbnb, it actually looks really livable. So I'm super excited to show it to you guys, and hopefully it will give you some ideas whether you're wanting to do an Airbnb or whether you're actually wanting to live in a tiny house to cut down on expenses, to make your life more intentional, maybe to live as a minimalist. The sky is the limit, so let's go see. Here's the entrance. They have a really cute fence. They have these little urns on the side. They built it themselves, but they made it super cute, and it makes a difference. Small spaces, if you're going to live in a small space, you want to have a beautiful, more open surrounding area, if at all possible, or, you know, if you don't have that, then try to be active in some other way, because you can turn into a mushroom living in a tiny house. All right, so we have a beautiful color on the door. We have this lovely little flagstone pathway. We have the little table for people to eat at, and then they have other cutesy little things. They have flowers planted and beds and a little bench, a hammock, but it just looks super, super homey. It looks like it's everything advertised. Beautiful wood, small appliances, it just looks amazing. Alright, so the walls are pretty, they're curved. I'm trying to figure out what the sound is, maybe a dehumidifier? Yeah, I'm hearing some kind of fan, but I don't know where it's coming from. So come on in and we'll try to show you what it looks like. Are you excited about the stairs?
Yeah. Have you seen how they pull out the...
I haven't shown them yet.
Do you love that stuff?
I do. Do you love that stuff? Mm-hmm. Do you want to show them the stairs? Okay. So if you want to show them the stairs, I'll get behind the camera and I'll follow you. But wait till I'm behind the camera.
You might want to tip it down.
All right, we're ready. Show them the stairs.
So these are the stairs. You might know already that some stairs actually pull out for storage space, and we love these kind of stairs. Even in the small ones, there's still enough for storage space. Even on the bottoms. It would be kind of hard to install them in the bottoms. I can't open this one. Can I show them up the stairs?
You want to walk up the stairs?
Sure. I need to take off my shoes now. I'm not getting shoes all over stuff. You have to take the camera up here, Mom.
You want me to show up there too?
Yeah.
Do you want to explain it and then I'll bring it up in a minute?
So this is their loft. Last time we weren't able to stay in their loft because there wasn't any railing, but this time we can actually stay in the loft because it has a railing.
Yep, so you girls could actually sleep up there tonight, huh?
Yeah, you should really come show the blanket.
Okay, how about if I finish showing them the downstairs and then we move on to the upstairs?
Okay.
Okay, so they did what we did in our little off-grid cabin, which is that they built an extensive stair system. So they did with their stair and loft system the same thing that we did with ours in our tiny off-grid cabin, which is that they built stairs for the purpose of getting up, but they also have stairs for the purpose of storing anything that needs to be stored, rather than having to put in bookshelves and then having to take up dual space, bookshelves and cupboards and stairs. They've used drawers where we used more closet type system, but they both work. I really like how nice and wide they are, and also just how much space there is in them. We love our loft and our stair system, but this one, it looks like you could even stand up straight upstairs, which you can't stand up in ours. So but it doesn't really look like their ceiling is any taller than ours is. So I'm not sure how exactly they manage that, but I want to show you how cute it is. So more cupboard space with dirty laundry, basket in it, empty corner space. They have about the same amount of cupboard space that we have. They have more drawers though. more drawers. And then because they've used the round wood, the really pretty wood, it also adds something to the stairs. Ours was reclaimed wood as well as fresh pine from Island Park, which is close to where we live, that had been hand cut by Josh from Essential Mountain Homesteading, as well as my husband John. So ours has meaning to us as well, but they've done a beautiful job on this. Okay, so this looks like the bathroom. I would have to assume that it's the bathroom. In our tiny off-grid cabin, we do not have a bathroom. We use the outhouse. Okay, so this one has a composting toilet that is more of a mechanical composting toilet, not the heavy carbon. So it is an in-house outhouse, which I will admit there is a little bit of a smell when we've been in composting toilet houses where you've used sawdust, quite a bit of sawdust, and then you remove the bucket and you go and you compost it. On this one, it looks like it's supposed to be heat activated by a fan. And so I'm going to show it to you. And I just want to put it out there. I do smell what smells like an outhouse, which I almost never smell that with a composting toilet. But because the door is here, it's actually quite warm in here. They have a candle, they have some books, they have a light. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this. There's your carbon, and there's your toilet. But you can see that there's venting. Instead of it just being a bucket in a seat, where you take the bucket and you take it out and you compost it, this one is supposed to compost in place, and it has a vent that goes out. So I'm not sure what I think of this. How to use a composting toilet. Just as a normal toilet, it is best if men sit down. Place your toilet paper in the little trash bin. If you forget, don't panic. 2 to 3 scoops of sawdust in the toilet when finished. Turn handle 2 to 3 times after each use. If it gets stuck, do not force it, just leave it alone. If the smell increases, it is probably too wet. If you have an opportunity to pee elsewhere, that will help. You're also more than welcome to pee outside if you're the type of person to do so. If not, try turning up the temperature on the unit to stand on the unit to around 5 while you're gone. Upon returning home, turn it down to 1. You can let it air out. If anything seems out of sorts or there's a strong smell, please let me know. If you're a sensitive sleeper, feel free to unplug the toilet gray cord at night. So that's what the sound is when we first came in. So this is something of an electrical toilet that heats up the compost. Again, instead of it being necessarily a naturally composting system, it's actually a heated composting system. It's quite warm in here. It's very warm in here. And it's not a terrible toilet smell, but it is a smell of ammonia and urine. So the smell out here, there's absolutely zero smell. You can hear the fan that goes with the toilet though. You can hear it. And the air out here is very fresh and cool and nice, but the air in there is a little muggy. So let's go through the kitchen. I'm not sure what you can see. Cute pots and pans, big enough sink that you can do anything you need to. I love these little ranges, these little squat, short ranges for a family my size. And I think a family for, large families go camping all the time and have the small range. The small range doesn't hurt anything. And the oven is plenty big. Unless you're trying to roast a turkey, this is big enough for any family. And then they have a rolling cutting board, a marble cutting board, and then a little bit of a screen there. I'm not sure what's behind the screen, but we'll check it out. So this is the bathtub space. You have a privacy curtain on this side, and you have a screen here that you can pull away, and then here's the bathtub. And it's actually quite lovely. Let's see if I can bring you in a little bit closer. Okay, so here's the beautiful bathtub. It has that really pretty New Mexico blue that they have on all the freeways mixed with the orange that they also have on all the freeways and overpasses. Very pretty color combinations. Beautiful clawfoot bathtub. Shelves with some organic lotions and hair stuff, some beautiful pottery, a light, a privacy curtain between the kitchen and the bathtub, some art, and it just looks really tasteful and beautiful, and it looks like it would be ideal for a romantic getaway, you know, for if you wanted to get out with your sweetheart and just have a place that was really cozy and romantic and very beautiful. Okay, so here's the eating table. It looks like they have enough stools for 3 people, and they have a recycling box, a small refrigerator, and some reading. I do really like it when we get to these Airbnbs because there's no television. It just feels very holistic to me. And another thing I really like is that they have doors, windows, lots of windows, skylight. The safety of a monolithic dome is that you don't have a huge expanse of windows. When we went to talk to David South in Texas, he builds monolithic domes. He says you can have small windows in place, but you don't want to have one big picture window, because if you do have a tornado or something like that, a hurricane, whatever it may be, the small windows won't affect the structure of the building, and you're safer that way. Here's the living space, a little living room. There's enough seating for 3 people here, plus the tables or the benches, so lots of place to sit. And the thing I like about it is it feels spacious. If you're gonna live in a tiny house, you want to have your eye drawn up. You don't want a really low ceiling. The way that they have this ceiling for the kitchen that is then a loft is great, because you have all this open space here that pulls your eyes up. It makes it feel spacious. It makes it feel open instead of like it's coming down on, you know, like you just, all the small spaces are just getting smaller. Staircases back home.
Well, the 2 doors.
Yeah. That, remember how we have our curtains that go over
Yeah.
our closets?
Yeah, so they're closets.
Yep. Okay, so this is the bedroom. What you're hearing here is a fan. It's quite a powerful fan. I don't know if that's to keep the air moving or if it's something associated with the composting toilet downstairs, that they feel like they need another fan. I don't smell anything up here though, so I just wonder if maybe, I'm afraid to turn it off. If the owners had it on, I don't want to turn it off and have that cause problems for them. The skylight is fantastic. You have this beautiful patch of light on the quilt. The quilt actually looks like an heirloom, so I feel kind of bad sitting on it. Narrow tables. You have this little knob here to kind of hold on to as you go down the stairs. Of all the houses I've stayed in that are tiny houses that have a loft, I feel the safest about this one for myself and for the kids. The railing is a little low with big spaces, which means you wouldn't want to have toddlers up here or really small children. But for an adult and older kids that aren't going to be doing a lot of horse playing, I think it's perfectly safe. I wouldn't necessarily want kids up here playing. I would be okay with them sleeping. If they were to raise the banister to the ceiling and then narrow the spaces so that they're conventional, I think it would be perfectly safe for kids to play up here. But as someone who has kids and knows how much they horseplay, I would not be comfortable at all with the kids playing up here, because the gaps between the railings are about 18 inches wide. But this is beautiful, cozy. You actually have room. You actually have room to walk. You can walk. Your head is not being bumped. Okay, hopefully you can see now. So I can walk all the way around to the other side, and I had to be on my tiptoes to bonk. Over here, it's just fine, but I do feel you can see this railing, it hits me about here. It is quite low, and you can see the spaces between are that wide. Spaces between are that wide, and so if you had a child, it wouldn't be much to think of them just sliding through here. Some of the strongest selling points of a monolithic dome are that it is pretty much weatherproof. Tornadoes, hurricanes, earthquakes, it's supposed to be very safe for those weather conditions, earth problems. And if they're made out of concrete, they are termite free, termite proof. So depending on what part of the country you live in, it might be a really great option for you. They use a lot of adobe and a lot of concrete here in New Mexico because there's not any wood. There's not a lot of trees everywhere, so concrete and adobe work really well here. One of the things I am most anxious to fix about our off-grid cabin is the railing system. On the storage side, we have 0 railing, just a ladder that goes up, and on our bedroom side, we have this tiny short little railing, which I think is beautiful, but I don't think it's safe. I don't think it's safe for adults. I don't think it's safe for kids. When we're getting up there to change bedding or move things around in either lofts, you're totally exposed. And as much as I would want to think that, you know, you're always going to be careful, the kids are never going to be fighting, we all know that that's not real life. So I love this little Airbnb. I know a lot of people get really frustrated with me when I visit the tiny houses and when I critique them. But if you're going to spend $85,000 on a tiny house on wheels, you want to make sure that it's perfect. If you're going to spend the money putting in a tiny house on your property, whether to live in or to rent out as an Airbnb, you want to know the downfalls of some of the designs that I've seen. I think this is absolutely fantastic. Do I think we could live in it as a family of 4? Totally. We totally could live in this one. But things that I would change would be the railing. That would be the first thing I would change. I would probably move the bathroom part of it outside or do a regular composting toilet system. But I don't know about this toilet system. You know, I've researched it. We initially wanted to put one in our house, but I think when you're in a tiny house, if you have the option, I would kind of go with an outdoor outhouse rather than an indoor one, just because it does take up a little bit of space. I like that the bathtub is inside, but even in our area, we found ways to shower outside to maximize our space. We had an outdoor shower. We could put in an outdoor sauna shower for winter use. But this one is on grid. It has power, it has water, and that means that it's kind of a different scenario from ours because ours was off grid. We had a hand pump. So hopefully you like this. I'm enjoying staying in it and critiquing it a little bit. And make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and we'll talk to you later.
So the blanket has all sorts of embroideries. Can you guys see quite well? So here are the people, and here's a blue sun, a red sun, and another sun, and another sun. I really love the blanket. It's like the first thing that catches my eye. And now I should probably tour you on the rest of the spot.
So we do have other videos on this kind of tour. Make sure to go check them out. I'll have them in the description as well as in the links in the cards. And thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you later. Add this too.
Right.
So, amazing. I have never seen another one that added mass around the barrel. Have you seen another one where they added mass around the barrel?
No.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
And definitely not one that kind of was like a wood standing stove that was
Right.
just insulated and had a custom port. I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
But
So
it was just something I came up with in my freaking house.
So if you don't have room for a bench, this really might be the plan for you, because it just goes upright where the stove already is. It's not taking up any more space. So we're going to test it. It might be just the ultimate tiny house rocket mouse heater.